Hey Flosstube, welcome back to the Twisted Stitcher. My name is Alicia and this is my channel all about cross stitch. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers and give you a huge shout out for continuing to hang out with me. I appreciate your support of my channel from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. If you're new here, welcome in. Hopefully you'll want to stick around and become a subscriber too. Because, you know, us cool cats have to stick together. And this is the channel to do it. So, Wonder Woman is at Tilton Crafts. If you want this particular one, that's where to get it. So, give me just a minute. Let me get this set up and then we will start stitching. And I'll show you the progress that I have. Alright guys, so this is the beauty in all of its glory. I have 3,151 stitches in. I am currently at 3.50. That can't be right. That's what it says though. Wow. Anyway, her face is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, I will tell you this. I apparently have, from here all the way through, there's like 8 shades of color in her face. She's got a lot of colors in her face. There's a color right here. And when you look at this, you may not be able to see it from your angle, but I can see it when I'm looking at it. But there's like, I think it's like a really fuzzy flaw in the floss that I apparently did not see. Because it honestly looks like she has peach fuzz right here. It looks like she has peach fuzz on her face. Like, this is the realest of cross stitch that you'll ever have seen. So it looks like I'm going to have to take this out and restitch those because of it. And it looks fuzzy. I don't know exactly how to spell to explain that really. I don't know. I don't know how to... It looks like there's a dark mark right here. And then it's fuzzy on top of it. Almost like... I wonder if it's like dyed funky in that spot. And I didn't notice it when I was stitching it. But it's driving me crazy. It looks like somebody took like a pencil and marked right there on her face. And now there's a line in her face right there. But it's the material... The floss is fuzzy right in there. So, and that's going to drive me nuts. How did I not notice it before? That's, ooh. Ooh, wrong one. Okay, so how did I not notice that before? Can you guys see that? I don't like it. It's driving me nuts just looking at it. I can see it all day long. Y'all might be able to see it. It's like right there. And it's going to drive me nuts. Okay, so now I know what I'll be doing in a little while when I'm off camera, because I'm going to definitely snatch that out. I don't like it. I don't like it. Because this same color right here is right here on the side of her face. And it's not like that on this side. So I'm wondering if it's like a section of the floss might have been like dyed funky, or maybe it was like snagged or something that's making it look like it's a dirty mark on her face right there. That's going to drive me nuts. Okay, let's move on to something. Let's move on to something else. If I can keep my eyes off of it, that's the problem. Because every time I look down, I'm like, God, she's beautiful. Wait a minute, there's a mark on her face. Oh, look, she's beautiful. There's a mark on her face. Oh, look, she's beautiful. There's a mark on her face. That's what my eyeballs. Welcome to ADHD. Now that I've seen it, it's going to be like a like a hyper focus. because I know it's there and it's going to drive me crazy. So I am looking on Pattern Keeper here, trying to find like my plan of attack. Let me tell you, there's like over 600 stitches right here in her lips. I mean, they are absolutely beautiful how they're done. All right, so it looks like 739 is gonna be the ringer to start with today. I have not worked on this one in a little while, so uh-oh. See if I can find our colors. Oh, great, right off the top, 739. It's like the same color as the material, so you know, stitching light on light is great. But she is beautiful. I love this one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. I'm counting the rings, what I call the rings. When you unravel your bobbin, when the material's laying, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count 17 and I cut them off. 17 tends to be a pretty good length for me anyway. This is 28 count even weave. I am doing 1/1 tint stitch on this project, and 3,100 stitches so far, if I haven't said that already. I feel like I have. Oh gosh. So we'll talk about a few things that has happened since July, the start of July. I have some notes here so I can remember what I'm trying to say, or it's my bullet points really from all the junk that has happened. I'm not going to go through all of it because some of it's more aggravating than it is of any good to talk about. On July 2nd was when I did my last video. That was apple harvest. My long hiatus was kind of sort of against my will. So my birthday is on the 9th of July. And it fell in the middle of the week. So my husband on the 5th of July was like, hey, since your birthday falls in the middle of the week, I'm going to take you to Hobby Lobby. So it was this project that I was working on, but I did not have like all the colors for. So he took me to get the rest of the colors I needed for this project. And so that was a birthday floss run, as I call it. Let's see, in the month of July, the entire family got sick with some kind of virus, running fever, and just all the nasty, right? Just all of it. Let's see. And then, uh-oh, where's that? Oh, that's, okay. Let me think. Uh-oh. I'm just full of uh-ohs today. This is crazy. My family was sick for 2 weeks. In the midst of that, we were down. We had fever, all kinds of stuff, man. We felt like crap. We fell under that 4-day heat dome. So I'm in South Carolina. And it was like Georgia, Florida, South Carolina got hit with that 4-day heat dome on the East Coast, which was absolutely ridiculous. all in the midst of all of this, we also had an earthquake and our AC went out. Just all of it together. So we were all sick. Then we went through a heat dome. On the 12th of July is when our AC went out, and on the 16th is when we had an earthquake. So we went for like three weeks with no AC in our house, and it was not because we weren't doing anything to try to fix that. That was not the case at all. We battled and battled and battled. We were calling AC company to come out, and I figure, 2 or 3 days, I'll have a couple of quotes, and then I could call somebody. I started calling on Monday morning. I figured, Monday and Tuesday we'll get some quotes. Wednesday, they would know that they're going to be doing this job, and then, worst case scenario, Friday of that week, we would have AC. No. So I was calling companies left and right, trying to get them out. Well, they say, yeah, we'll be there at 2:00 today to give you a quote. They wouldn't show up. It was just horrible. Like, what is the problem? This shouldn't be such a hard issue. So I had like one quote on Monday. I had 2 that stood me up on Monday. Tuesday, I had 2 come out. 1 stood me up. Wednesday, it was like that all week. So by the time Friday got here, I had 4 quotes. And it took me all week to get that. Well, when I talked to a guy on the phone with one of these companies, he said, look, this heat dome has told everybody that their AC unit was old and outdated and it needed to be replaced. Everybody's AC cannot keep up with the heat. Let me tell you, it was like 98 and 99 degrees during the day. And during the day, we had heat index of 119 to 123 during the day. And at midnight, it was 90 to 92 degrees at midnight. We stayed in the 90s the entire time. It was hot. It was absolutely miserable. It was sultry. It was sizzling, humid as hell. It was just bad. It was horrible bad. And then the guy was like, yeah, so, because I was telling him, I was like, what does it take to get a quote around here? And he said, everybody's unit is dying. And right now, a lot of people are selling so many units that they don't even have them in stock. They're, having to have their customers wait because they can't get them shipped in fast enough. They're selling them faster than they can actually put them in, stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God. So, yeah. So they had to order our unit in. So I talked to this guy on Friday that week. He was like, okay, so here's the deal. We can't get to you until Wednesday because we've had to order more units in. So that's an additional 5 days. So we've already been in the heat at this point. So from that Friday, we had already been in the heat like a week and a half because we couldn't get anybody to respond to our request for, well, there were some other things that went on too, but overall it was, well, crap, what was I saying? We were in the heat for like a week and a half. And then finally, this guy was like, look here, everybody, this is the reason you're not getting any callbacks and stuff like that. So it wasn't because we weren't trying. It was the fact that all the AC companies around here were just busy, and they couldn't keep anything in stock. So he was like, and the crews they're out early, they get home late. It's been bad on everyone. So I was like, great Lord. Okay, so finally they come out and they go to put this unit in my house. The company that I was thinking I was hiring, what they did was they subcontracted our job out to a company, a subcontractor that had absolutely no business whatsoever. None. No business whatsoever to be sending people out to do the job that they were hired to do. They were not trained. They did not know what they were doing. Instead of using electrical tape, they were using duct tape on electrical wiring. So what they did was this company came out. They got in, and our air handler is in the garage. So they come out. They took the old unit out. They beat up my garage. They damaged the air duct that was already out there. So at some point, now see, we bought the house. We bought the house almost 4 years ago. So there's been recent duct work done in the house. We were told the air unit was like 2 or 3 years old. Come to find out, it's as old as my daughter is, and she's in high school. When they were done, they came in, they handed me a bunch of books and said, have a great day. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, when is this thing supposed to be serviced? Would you like to tell me how to work the thermostat on the wall? I was charged for things that they did not even install. They didn't even have the stuff to install because it was like, again, rolling back to the company that I called. So these guys went to that company's warehouse that morning. The company didn't pull everything out. They picked up whatever was there and they took off and came to my house to do the replacement. The problem with that is they didn't like run down a checklist to make sure that they had everything they were supposed to have. It doesn't matter because when they were trying to leave, I walked out into my garage and I was floored. I mean, they ruined the ductwork out there. They just destroyed it. I could see insulation from the inside of the ductwork. They had smashed the insulation or the ductwork down to the top of the unit. When the air conditioner would kick on, you could hear it sound like it was gurgling, trying to draw air. They absolutely destroyed it. And I was calling for management while those guys were still here. I told them, I said, oh no. I was like, this isn't staying. This isn't staying. This looked really bad. And, for 2 days, I caught hell with that company because they would take my messages. Oh, well, the manager will call you. The manager never called. It was nonsense. The whole time it was just absolute nonsense. So finally, I lost my religion multiple times that week. And then finally my message got to a general manager for the company. And he was like, do you have pictures? Can you show me some pictures of what's going on? So I emailed these pictures and he called me back and he was like, I don't even know how to word what I'm trying to say, what I'm thinking I'm going to say. He said, there are no words for what I am looking at. He said, that is not our quality. That's not what, we don't stand behind this. He was like, he was like, I have absolutely no words. I have no words for what I'm seeing. So at this point, I am out of, let's see, We were out of we didn't have an air conditioner in our house for a total of 3 weeks, but it took another week and a half from that phone call to get somebody out and fix it the way it was supposed to be fixed. I was just beside myself. So, is that a stitch there? It looks like there's already a stitch there, but some of these colors are so light in here. So it should be, it is one stitch. It looks like two are there, but it is only one. This is the bad thing about 28 count. With these light colors, I should say, for the record. It's the light colors that do it too. Anyway, so yeah, it was just a lot. So the whole family was out sick, running fever. We had 4 days worth of heat dome with fever. Our AC went out in the midst of having a heat dome and fever. Honest to God, as hot as it was, I'm surprised somebody didn't wind up in the hospital, honestly. I'm surprised we didn't wind up with pneumonia, you know, something like that, because it was that bad. It was that bad. So, but we came through it. We came through it. Ooh, we had a lot, but I had to battle this AC company while my husband was at work. I had to battle them. I keep thanking God for getting me through it, because it was a challenging time. It was hard, and I lost my religion, and I had to take a nap on the altar to try to make up for losing my religion. But I mean, you know, I struggled with that because, you know, this is my house, and these guys come up in my house and they just think female equals stupid, and they tried to talk to me like I was stupid, and they tried to make it look like in the office up there that I was just mad because, you know, I didn't get everything that I paid for. And it's like, look here, you're charging me $500 for a part that was not even put out here, and yet you're getting mad because, see, look, I didn't get mad because that $500 part wasn't out there. I got mad for this company that I called to come out to put an AC unit. They subbed it out to somebody else that came out to my house and destroyed stuff and tore my house apart out there. And then I got charged on top of it $500 for a part that was not there. The guy that was in the office, I told that manager I talked to, I said he had the nerve to tell the people in the office, because the lady I talked to, she said, well, he said it was just that you were upset because, did I miss a stitch? I did. How about that? Well, he said you were upset because you got charged for something that wasn't out there. I said, look here. I said, if you got charged $500 for something, wouldn't you expect it to be out there? And she was like, well, yeah. And I said, then why would you think that it was okay for him to dismiss me when I paid somebody $500 for a part that never showed up? I said, would you be upset if I charged you $500 for something that never showed up to your house? And she was like, well, yes, ma'am. I said, then why are you siding with the fact that this clown said that I was getting upset over a $500 part that I didn't get. I said, you would be upset. I said, and I have every right to be upset. I said, but you know what? The worst part about it is, I said, what he's claiming I'm upset about has absolutely nothing to do with what's actually happened. And she said, well, what do you mean? And I told her, I was like, I hired you guys to come out and put an AC unit in my house. And I was like, you need to, I said, all you can hear is, all you know is what I'm telling you. I said, you need to see pictures. I said, you need to have management come out to my house and have them put their eyeballs on what happened out here. I was like, my house is destroyed. My house is tore up in this area because of what they've done. And she was like, is there any way that you can send some pictures to me? She was like, we're just going to get to the root cause of this. She said, because the guy came in and said you were just upset because you didn't get that $500 part. And I said, no, ma'am. I said, at this point, I don't give a rat's ass about that $500 part. I said, I'm more concerned with the damage that's in my house. I said, and if you think for 1 minute that I'm going to pay you the amount of money that you quoted me for this AC unit, I said, I'm not paying you a damn thing. So she told me where to send these pictures. I sent them, and the next thing you know, the general manager of the place was on the phone. He called me. He was like, he's like, I have absolutely no words for what I saw, for what I'm seeing from these pictures. And I said, yeah, and I don't like it being in my garage. I said, it wasn't that way to start off with. I said, but this company that you hired, this is what happened. I was like, so you can get your ass out here and fix it ASAP, sooner than later. I was like, because this is crazy. And he was like, yes, ma'am. He said, is the air conditioner running right now? I said, oh, yeah. He was like, so it's keeping your home cool. I said, yeah. He said, okay, so I'm going to try to get a crew together. And he was like, unfortunately, because of, the heat and everything, he said, we won't be able to get to you until probably Monday. He is like, but I'm going to put a crew together, and this is going to be top priority come Monday morning. He said, we'll be there at 9 o'clock Monday morning to fix this. He said, what we're going to do is we are going to tear out that unit. We're going to cut, strip that whole area. And then, he said, we will put that unit back in, once it's all fixed. He said, because he said, that's not our quality. That's not our, that's not our profession, that we can't leave that way. And I said, you're right, you can't. I said, because if you're going to leave it that way and think that I'm going to pay for it, I said, you might as well just have a company, have your company driver come by my house and pick this junk up off my sidewalk. I said, because I have no problem going out there tearing it out. I said, it'll be sitting by the edge of the road for you. And he was like, no, ma'am, you don't have to do that. We're coming to fix it. And I said, well, you better. I said, because if you don't, you're going to find your unit sitting on the sidewalk out there. I said, if it doesn't get stolen. And I personally don't give a crap if it does. And he's like, no, ma'am. He was like, we're coming. We're coming to fix it. I was like, you better. You better. I mean, I have been through the ringer. And, and I feel ashamed to even discuss it, really. I mean, I'm moving this thing everywhere. I can't believe, once upon a time, customer service it meant something. And now it's like customer service doesn't mean crap to anybody, not even to a fast food joint. You go get a hamburger and they treat you like shit there too. And it's like I knew I should have just made hamburgers at home. It's pathetic. They want $15 an hour, but yet they're going to treat you like crap in the process. It's like, no. That's not how this works. And I'm just absolutely sick of it. So anyway, that was my long... that was just 3 weeks of July. But honestly, that 3 weeks, it went from about the middle of July until like was it? Let's see. The AC went out, and then they finally had it fixed. Totally fixed by the 11th. Yeah, by the 11th of August, they finally had it fixed. I was like, that's crazy. I should have never taken. So they said it was supposed to be like, okay, so it'll take about, we're going to have a crew come out. It'll take about 6 hours. They were done putting a new unit in my house in 3.5. And it was only 2 guys. And you're like, well, I'm going to tell you right now, something wasn't done right. Well, no, it wasn't done right. So, anyway, it's disheartening. It just, just absolutely sickened by what happened. It just irked me, and it's discouraging to think that they see a female and they automatically think you're dumb. I was not okay, and I'm still not okay because of the amount of disrespect. Even though they came out, they fixed it, all is well now. It was just the level of disrespect was just off the chain. Anyway, moving off of that, I mean, because I could sit here and cry. I could sit and just cry about it. It just irked me so bad. So anyway, moving along, it went on to like, car issues and, like school, the school, what is it? Tax-free weekend is what I'm thinking. School related, but it's tax-free weekend. You go shopping, you save all the tax because you're not charged tax on all this stuff. So you have these coupons, these companies are going, oh yeah, you got 50% off the whole store for shopping, for back to school. So you pick up 2 pairs or a pair of shoes and 2 pairs of jeans, and it turns out to be, some god-awful amount when you're like, okay, so I expected like, $150 for all this stuff. And you're supposed to be getting 50% off everything in the store. And they're like, yeah, it's $200. And you're like, no. So the 50% off coupons were not working. I was like, so if I noticed it, how many other people noticed it? How about the people that are just so busy because they've got multiple children that they ran into that store, the kids just picked up whatever they wanted, and mom is just standing there going, are you sure that's what you want? Yeah, okay, put it up there, and it all rings up, and they just pay for it. Like, your 50% off coupon didn't work. Are you aware of this at this point? Yeah, so it went on to that. And then, and my foot is now in a boot. How am I supposed to forget that? My foot is I have a boot. So like I said, we've been getting a lot of rain, and, 1, 2, 3. This should be 1. This is hard to see because this color I'm working is like almost the exact same color as this fabric, so it's hard to see what I got going on here. Okay, so we've been getting a lot of rain, and I'm just going to act like I haven't told you this yet. And between, it would rain real hard, and then it would let up, and then it would rain real hard, and it would let up, periodically throughout the day. So between the rain storms that we were getting, I would stop and let my dogs out. Well, my dogs, one of them, okay, so neither one of my dogs, I have 2 wiener dogs, and neither one of them like to get wet. But they would, they have to go outside. So when it was, when it stopped raining, they would go out and they go do their business, right? So I would let them out. Well, my female, it was like she didn't want to come back in. It was like these poor dogs have been hemmed up forever, you know? They didn't want to come in. And, well, she didn't. My little boy, when I call for him, he comes. The little girl, she's like defiant little turd. But, so I stepped out almost like to show, the controlling side, like you get your carcass in this house right now kind of thing. Because I knew the rain was coming and she'll have a canary if she gets stuck out there. So I was like, you need to bring yourself on. I stepped out from the house to the step on our back patio. I was half on the step, half off the step, kind of rolled my ankle, twisted my foot, and next thing you know, I wound up in a damn boot. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I've had my hands full, and I'm sick of all of it. It's like I want to cancel my subscription to adulting. I'd like a refund, please, because it all sucks, and I'm done. So I go on Monday. So I went to the emergency room and they did x-rays, and then now they're referring me out. They put me in a boot. Now they're referring me out to orthopedic doctor, which is they're going to want to do an MRI on my foot, and all the fun stuff. So I go on Monday for that. I'm just if it is not one thing, it is something else. I tell you, I hit a max overload, and so my foot has been in a boot for almost a week now. So fun times in this house. Yeah, it's been joyous here since July, and I'm like, you know what? Happy birthday to me, right? Since I'm so sick of it. It's like I have to laugh. Because if not, I'm gonna go crazy from it. It's been too much. It's like being overstimulated. So, all right, 1, 2, and is this where I'm going? Yep, this is where I'm going. I'm moving my foot around and hit the tripod. So anyway, it's been a wild ride, and I'm not interested anymore. I need a break. I need a vacation of some sort. But just had my hands full. And right before, there hasn't been a whole lot of stitching at all. And I tell you what, it feels kind of like a sense of depression when you stitch and then you're not able to stitch. In a weird sense, it's almost like a sense of depression. When you come home from work, you sit down, you eat dinner, clean the kitchen, you go to the couch to sit and watch TV. Well, if you're used to sitting and watching TV in the afternoons, and then one day you can't sit and watch TV when you're used to doing it all the time, it's like your whole I don't know, like your whole evening is botched, and it leaves you in a place of like, now what am I supposed to do? Almost, I don't want to say like a state of panic, but it does kind of rattle you, because you're like, what am I supposed to do now? And when our air was out, it was so hot. it was like you don't even want to breathe. I mean, much less try to. I, I was joking. I told my husband, I said, look here, I'm sweating so badly. I mean, everywhere in the house was hot. We had these two little window units, but it was still hot. And I was like, look, all of my fabric has, the lines, the grid in it. I was like, if I get it wet and as hot as it is in here, it will disappear. But I'm going to be honest, touching fabrics and stuff like that was the last thing you wanted to do. You didn't want to touch nothing. Nothing. It was bad. But anyway. And let's see. What else can I do? All right. Oh, give me just a second. I'm going to get something to drink and I'll be right back. All right, guys. So this is my next color. I'm going to try to complete half of her face. I'm going to work on this other side over here and then see where we go from there. This is 3726. It's almost like a dusty rose taupe kind of color. It's pretty. Where did I get this from? Back here. All right. So anyway, how is everyone else doing? Are we surviving? School has started back here in the States, East Coast area. School has been back in session for I'm just gonna start out here. School has been in session here a week, almost a week. So I just did wrong there. So for somebody that's been stitching for 37 years, she sure is acting like she's never stitched a day in her damn life here. Uh-oh. And that didn't do right either. Okay, so what the hell have I done here? All right, we're just going to cut all of this out because oh my God, the hell did I do here? Let's start this again. Let's try this again. I keep hitting the tripod with my foot. All right. We got those, and now we're going to move over to this one. This one. And then this one. This one's going around a little bit. And then we'll be going on the downward. So other than my crazy month and a half long hiatus, so I noticed today that I was getting real antsy because it was like, I noticed a while back, but because it's like I've got being a content creator, it's like I need to get back to making my videos. I need to get this done. I need to get this done, so I'm like stressing out over trying to get back to what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And I have put so much pressure on myself to try to complete all these things, and it's like I've been battling myself because I'm like, I gotta get back. My viewers are gonna drop me. They're gonna think, what happened to her? Like I just threw my hands up and quit on YouTube, and it was like I started adding a whole bunch of pressure to myself. And I was like, I gotta come up with new ideas and all these things. So I was struggling. I was struggling with the pressures of getting back to work, and I was having a hard time with it. What did I just do? Nothing. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Jeez, Lou. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. But anyway, I was panicking. My husband was like, you just need to calm down a bit. I was like, I don't want to lose my viewers. And he was like, I'm sure that they realize that, you have things. So I was like, I understand that, but still, I don't want to lose my viewers. He was like, they have things that's happening in their life too. I was like, yes, dear. Oh. I need to keep my foot still. So I've been thinking, about trying to get back to you guys. I didn't want to leave you high and dry. And so it's been the added pressure of everything else that's been going on. I've been worried about losing you guys too. It was like, I was telling my husband, I was like, what we have been through in the last month, I said, if we were to tell somebody what we've gone through, I said, they would probably look at us like either we're lying or we have like the world's worst luck in the world. And my dad used to say, well, if it wasn't for bad luck, we wouldn't have any luck at all. And, you know, you laugh because it's funny, and I think it was just comical, you know, for him to say something like that. But I mean, we've never been an unlucky family, you know, like him making jokes about bad luck or whatever. We've never really had bad luck, you know, so I think he was just trying to be funny. Um, but I'm gonna tell you, it's it's been it's been rough. But I was telling my husband, I was like, if we told somebody our story of everything that has happened to us in the past month, I said they would be thinking we're liars, you know? I was like, but, you know, and then of course it makes me think back to, um, you know, my mom was saying, you know, the Bible says it rains on the just and the unjust. And it's true. It's true. It doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. This stuff happens to everyone. So, uh-oh. Snatched the needle out. I have to move pattern keeper again. You know what? This stitch right here is... That's alright. Moving along, moving along. I think I'm gonna take a break. And go eat some Tylenol, I think. My foot is starting to ache a little bit. And it's so late. It's so late in the evening. And I think I'm gonna call it right here. I'm gonna put my stitch so I'll know where I'm headed. Alright, guys. That is not it. I get on a roll and don't want to stop, but it's like I need to stop because my foot's killing me. So let me see where I am. Okay, guys, I think that's it for me. I got 131 stitches in, so I'd love to be able to keep going, but I've got a foot that is starting to hurt, so I need to go eat some Tylenol, try to get it up off the floor because it's up underneath the desk, and I think everything is running down to it. It's making it sore, so I need to go get it up in the air, go prop it up on a pillow. Anyway, I appreciate you guys coming to spend time with me today. I apologize for the long hiatus. It's longer than what I expected. I feel crappy because of that. It's like I had all these plans to do these videos and they all just came to a slamming stop. And it sucks because now I feel like I gotta make up for lost time. And so I'm feeling kind of junky about that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys very much for sticking around and continuing to support my channel. I love you guys. Y'all are the greatest. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Love you to the moon and back. I appreciate you guys for coming to hang out with me again. And I will see you real soon.